Hi, my name is Mary Jones Mize. Have you noticed the number of law firm commercials about prescription medication lawsuits has increased today? I have. Do you understand why? Well, I felt as a patient that requires many medications to live my daily life that I needed to understand why. When the FDA approves a drug, it is determined that the benefits of the drug will outweigh the risks when it's released to the general population for use. During a drug testing, normally up to 3,000 people will take the drug in the final stage of clinical trials. If a serious side effect occurs in 1 out of 10,000 people, the manufacturer and the FDA most likely will not find out until it's on the market and hundreds of thousands or even millions of people have taken it. When a drug goes on the market, approximately only 3,000 patients have ever been tested on that drug. Will we ever know that? We will never know the toxicity that can occur, especially in 1 in 10,000 or 1 in 20,000 people can seriously be harmed. Our detection of that will only happen after the drug is on the market and exposed to a huge number of patients. The FDA defines a side effect as an undesirable experience associated with the use of a medical product in a patient. A side effect should be reported if it results in death, disability, hospitalization, is life-threatening, or requires treatment to prevent permanent damage from this drug. According to Paul Seligman, director of the Office of Drug and Safety in the CVER, the FDA receives 278,000 reports of adverse events a year, of which 30,000 are considered serious. Every year, there are approximately 100,000 deaths due to drug-related adverse events. According to the FDA website, only 1 out of 10 patients report major side effects. According to the FDA, 42 prescription drugs were reported just during January 1st, 2010 to March 17th, 2010 by consumers alone. Protecting American consumers from this potentially fatal side effect of prescription drugs has already behind pharmacy counters should be one of the top tasks of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. Yet the FDA today has little authority, even less money, to police prescription drugs after it has been approved to be prescribed by doctors across the country. Under current rules and regulations approved by Congress most recently 5 years ago, the presumption that the FDA's rigorous testing of prescription drugs prior to approval of sale to the public offered enough protection to the consumers. Their presumption was wrong. The Prescription Drug Use Fee Act of 1992, or PDUFA, which Congress renewed in 1997 and 2002, and is up for renewal again this summer, authorized that the FDA to establish a clear but streamlined new drug approval process, alongside the means to pay for the necessary extra staff. User fees from the pharmaceutical industry, PDUFA, worked wonders for its users. Double-digit profit margins because big pharmaceutical companies can now get more new drugs approved quickly. The average time it takes the FDA to approve a drug has dropped by 40% since the PDUFA was first implemented. 50% of the world's new drugs are now launched in the United States, up from 8% in 1992. The problem, as recent research has shown, is that the FDA staff and its Center for Drug Evaluation and Research is trying too hard to meet these deadlines of the PDUFA. The prestigious Institute of Medicine pointedly notes that the funding method and swift review guidelines of the PDUFA are excessively oriented towards supporting speed of approval and insufficiently attentive to safety. Indeed, a study published earlier this year by George Washington University School's of Public Health and Health Services found that the rate at which drugs already on the market registered unforeseen health safety problems was higher for those drugs approved by the FDA within PDUFA's existing approval timelines. Yet the headline news about the adverse effects of some of these drugs, such as the heightened risk of heart attacks from the painkiller Vioxx and of liver failures from the antibiotic Catex, complete with results from another reform implemented by the FDA since the introduction of the PDUFA, direct-to-consumer advertising by the pharmaceutical industries. Even as drug industries executives face serious charges not doing enough to ensure the safety of their own drugs once they are approved for sale by the FDA, these companies' marketing mavens are spending billions of dollars advertising their products to consumers directly through the media. The high cost of these drugs to American consumers relates directly to the cost of the pharmaceuticals industry's media marketing programs and user fees paid to the FDA to get drugs approved quickly. The price of prescription drugs increased 8.3% annually between 1994 and 2004. The last year, which complete data is available, compared to the average annual rate of total inflation of 2.5%. Spending on prescription drugs grew by 59% in 2000 and 2005, while all other health expenditures grew by over 40%. Are the FDA-approved drugs any safer today than they were before the Prescription Drug Use Act of 1992? From the information available today, it would seem not. Are you comfortable with the over-counter medications available to you? What about the medications prescribed to you by your doctor? Believe that the government should reinstate its extensive testing before approving any medication can be approved for use in this country. I personally refuse to take any new medications from my doctor that he might suggest until it's been out on the market for a few years. I refuse to be a guinea pig for these drug companies. And the side effects nowadays are outweighing the benefits of these drugs. Who are they to say that the side effects do not outweigh the practical use of these drugs? I don't believe it. And if you're required to take medications, or a loved one is, please stop and think. Has this been tested enough? Is it safe for me or my loved one to take? I think not. Please keep this discussion in your mind whenever approached by your doctor to take a new medication that he says this great new medication is out and I think it will help you. I don't believe that we should be the guinea pigs for these drug companies. Thank you for your time.